The vast emptiness of space suddenly lit up. A massive fleet of alien ships appeared near Jupiter. Their sleek, dark vessels looked like a swarm of angry insects against the giant planet's colorful vans. On Earth, in a secret underground base, alarms blared. Dr. Sarah Chen rushed to her computer, her eyes wide with disbelief. The signal she had been searching for her entire career was finally here. But it wasn't what she had hoped for. "This can't be right," she muttered, double-checking the data. The energy readings were off the charts. Whatever was out there, it was incredibly powerful and definitely not friendly. Across the globe, other scientists made the same discovery. Governments scrambled to make sense of the situation. In Washington, D.C., President Rodriguez called an emergency meeting. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, his voice grave, "we are not alone, and we are not safe." The room erupted in chaos. Military leaders argued about defense strategies. Scientists debated the aliens' capabilities. Politicians worried about how to tell the public. Meanwhile, the alien fleet moved closer. They passed Mars in a matter of hours, a journey that would take humans months. Their technology was clearly far beyond anything Earth had ever seen. Back in her lab, Dr. Chen worked tirelessly to decode the alien signals. She hadn't slept in days, surviving on coffee and determination. Finally, she cracked it. "Oh no," she whispered, her face pale. She immediately called the president. "Mr. President," she said, her voice shaking, "I've decoded their message. It's a demand for our surrender. They call themselves the Galactic Empire. They've conquered thousands of worlds. And now they want Earth." The news spread like wildfire. Panic gripped the planet. People stockpiled food, riots broke out in major cities, and many fled to rural areas. The world teetered on the edge of chaos. But amidst the fear, something else emerged. Defiance. Humans had faced extinction before, from ice ages to plagues. They weren't about to give up now. In China, engineers worked around the clock to repurpose satellite technology into makeshift space defenses. In Russia, generals dusted off old nuclear plans, hoping they might work against the alien threat. In Silicon Valley, tech geniuses pooled their resources to create new AI systems for battle strategy. The alien fleet entered Earth's orbit. Their ships were enormous, eclipsing the sun and casting long shadows over the planet. The sight was terrifying, but it also united humanity like never before. Old enemies became allies. Rich and poor worked side by side. For the first time in history, the entire human race had a common goal: survival. President Rodriguez addressed the world. His speech was broadcast in every language, reaching every corner of the globe. "My fellow Earthlings," he began, his voice steady despite the weight on his shoulders. "We face the greatest threat in our history. The Galactic Empire believes we will surrender, that we will bow down before their superior technology. They think we are weak, divided, easy prey, but they don't know us. They don't know our spirit, our resilience, our determination. We've overcome every challenge nature has thrown at us. We've survived ice ages, earthquakes, and our own destructive tendencies. And we will survive this." As he spoke, the first alien ships entered the atmosphere. They were heading for major cities, no doubt planning to strike fear into human hearts. But they were in for a surprise. In New York, the Statue of Liberty's torch suddenly glowed with an intense energy. A beam shot out, slicing through an alien ship. It was Dr. Chen's decoded signal, repurposed into a weapon. In Beijing, swarms of drones rose to meet the invaders, sacrificing themselves to bring down force fields. In Moscow, forgotten Cold War weapons awakened, their missiles finding new targets in the sky. It wasn't a victory. Not even close. The alien technology was still far superior, but it was enough to make them pause, to make them realize that conquering Earth wouldn't be as easy as they thought. As the first day of battle ended, humans looked to the sky with a mix of fear and determination. The Galactic Empire had made a grave mistake. They had awakened a sleeping giant. Humanity was ready to fight, ready to show the universe what they were made of. The war for Earth had begun, and against all odds, humans were determined to win. The world held its breath as the alien ships hovered menacingly in the sky. It had been 3 days since the first attack, and humanity was scrambling to prepare for the next wave. In a hidden bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, world leaders gathered. The room buzzed with tension as they debated their next move. "We need to strike first," General Zhang of China argued, slamming his fist on the table. "Every second we wait, they grow stronger." President Rodriguez shook his head, "And risk anchoring them further. We barely survived the first attack." Dr. Chen, now a key advisor, spoke up. "We need more time. Our scientists are reverse engineering the alien technology we've salvaged. Give us a week, and we might have a fighting chance." As they argued, a young soldier burst into the room. "Mr. President, we've intercepted an alien transmission. They're addressing us directly." The room fell silent as a holographic image flickered to life. A tall, imposing figure appeared. Its skin was a deep purple, with glowing eyes that seemed to pierce through the projection. "Humans," it spoke, its voice oddly melodious despite the harsh words. "Your resistance is amusing, but futile. Surrender now, and we may spare your lives as our servants. Resist, and we will turn your planet to ash." President Rodriguez stood tall. "We will never surrender. Earth is our home, and we will defend it to our last breath." The alien's eyes narrowed. "So be it. You have one Earth rotation to reconsider. Then we attack in full force." As the transmission ended, panic set in. They had 1 day to prepare for an all-out war against an enemy they barely understood. But humans work best under pressure. Across the globe, a frenzy of activity began. In Japan, engineers worked tirelessly to complete a fleet of giant robotic defenders. In Brazil, scientists cultivated rapidly growing plants that could repair damaged ecosystems in hours. In Egypt, archaeologists discovered ancient technologies hidden in the pyramids, unlocking secrets that had been waiting millennia for this moment. Dr. Chen led a team in adapting Earth's satellites into a planetary shield. It wasn't perfect, but it might buy them precious time. As the deadline approached, an unexpected ally emerged. A small alien ship approached Earth, broadcasting on all frequencies. "Humans, we are the resistance," a voice crackled through. "We fight against the Empire's tyranny. We offer our aid and knowledge." It was a risky move, but Earth had little choice. The alien ship was allowed to land. Its occupants were a motley crew of different species, each fleeing the Empire's oppression. Their leader, a wise old being named Zix, shared crucial information about the Empire's weaknesses. "Their ships are powered by a rare mineral," Zix explained. "Without it, they're vulnerable. We've located their primary storage facility on your moon." A daring plan was formed. While Earth's defenses would engage the main fleet, a small team would sneak to the moon and destroy the Empire's fuel source. As the sun rose on what might be humanity's last day, people around the world prepared. Families huddled together, watching the skies. Soldiers checked their weapons one last time. In churches, mosques, and temples, prayers were whispered to every god humanity had ever known. President Rodriguez addressed the world once more. "Today, we fight not just for our planet, but for our very existence as a species. The road ahead is hard, and many of us may fall. But we will never surrender. We will show the universe that humanity is a force to be reckoned with." As he finished speaking, the sky darkened. The Empire's ships descended, their weapons charging. But Earth was ready. The planetary shield flickered to life, deflecting the first barrage. Giant robots rose to meet the invaders, while swarms of drones harassed the larger ships. And high above, a small, diverse team of humans and alien allies blasted off towards the moon, carrying the hopes of 2 civilizations with them. The battle for Earth had truly begun. Against impossible odds, humanity stood united, ready to fight for their home, their freedom, and their future. The battle raged across the Earth's skies. Alien ships clashed with human defenses in a spectacular display of lights and explosions. On the ground, people watched in awe and terror as their fate hung in the balance. Meanwhile, on the moon, a small team of humans and alien rebels crept towards the Empire's fuel depot. Captain Maria Ruiz led the group, her heart pounding as they approached the heavily guarded facility. "Remember," she whispered to her team, "we only have one shot at this. If we fail, Earth falls." They moved silently across the lunar surface, their special suits masking their heat signatures from the Empire's sensors. As they reached the depot's outer wall, Zix, their alien ally, used a strange device to create a small opening. "Hurry," Zix hissed. "The hole will only last for 30 seconds." One by one, they slipped inside. The interior was vast, filled with glowing containers of the precious mineral that powered the Empire's fleet. Armed guards patrolled the area, their strange weapons at the ready. Captain Ruiz signaled to her tech expert, Jun Li. "Set the charges. We'll create a distraction." As Jun worked, the rest of the team spread out. They had to time this perfectly. Back on Earth, the situation was growing desperate. The planetary shield was weakening under the constant bombardment. In New York, the Statue of Liberty's defensive beam flickered and died. In Moscow, the last of the Cold War missiles had been launched. Dr. Chen worked frantically in her lab, trying to find a way to reinforce the shield. Suddenly, her computer beeped. An incoming transmission from the Moon team. "We're in position," Captain Ruiz's voice crackled through. "Preparing to detonate. Be ready." Dr. Chen immediately alerted all Earth's defenses. "This is it. Give everything you've got." On the Moon, Captain Ruiz took a deep breath. "Now," she yelled. Jun pressed the detonator. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a massive explosion rocked the facility. Alarms blared as guards rushed towards the blast. "Phase 2, Ruiz ordered." Her team sprang into action. They moved swiftly through the chaos, planting more explosives on the fuel containers. Guards fired at them, their energy weapons leaving scorch marks on the walls. Zix used his alien technology to confuse the Empire's systems, buying them precious time. But as they reached the final container, disaster struck. A stray shot hit Jun, sending him sprawling. "Man down," Ruiz yelled, rushing to her friend's side. The wound was bad. They wouldn't all make it out. Jun looked up at her, his face pale but determined. "Go. I'll set off the last charge. Just tell my family I love them." With a heavy heart, Ruiz nodded. She and the remaining team members fled towards their escape ship as Jun dragged himself towards the final target. In space, the Empire's ships suddenly faltered. Their energy weapons sputtered and died as their fuel supply was cut off. Earth's defenders seized the moment, launching a fierce counterattack. The Moon team's ship blasted off just as a massive explosion engulfed the fuel depot. The lunar surface trembled, and a shockwave rippled across space. Thousands of Empire ships, now powerless, began to drift. Some crashed into each other, while others fell towards Earth, burning up in the atmosphere. The alien commander, realizing the tide had turned, sent out a desperate message: "Retreat. All ships, retreat." On Earth, people watched in disbelief as the once mighty armada fled. Cheers erupted in every city, every village, every home. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity had won its first battle against the Galactic Empire. But the victory came at a cost. As Captain Ruiz's ship landed, she emerged with tears in her eyes, carrying Jun's badge. The crowd's cheers faded to respectful silence as they realized the sacrifice made for their freedom. President Rodriguez approached Ruiz, his face solemn. "Captain, your team's bravery has saved us all. We will honor your fallen comrade as a hero." As the world celebrated, Dr. Chen looked to the stars. The Empire had retreated, but she knew they would return. This was only the beginning. In the coming days, Earth would need to prepare. They had to be ready for the Empire's retaliation, but they had proven something incredible. Humanity could stand against the mightiest force in the galaxy and emerge victorious. The war was far from over, but for the first time since the invasion began, hope blossomed across the planet. Humanity had taken its first step into a larger universe, and they were determined to make their mark. In the weeks following Earth's unexpected victory, the planet buzzed with activity. The initial euphoria of survival had given way to a grim determination. Everyone knew the Galactic Empire would return, stronger and angrier than before. Dr. Chen stood before the United Nations, her usually calm demeanor replaced by urgent intensity. "We have a narrow window of opportunity," she explained. "The Empire is regrouping, but they'll be back. We need to use every second to prepare." Around the world, humans threw themselves into the war effort with unprecedented unity. Former enemies worked side by side, pooling resources and knowledge. In the Sahara Desert, a massive solar farm sprouted almost overnight, powering new defense systems. Under the Pacific Ocean, engineers built secret bases to house humanity's growing fleet of reverse-engineered spaceships. Captain Maria Ruiz, now hailed as a hero, led the training of Earth's first space combat pilots. "Forget everything you know about aerial combat," she barked at her recruits. "In space, there's no up or down. You need to think in 3 dimensions." But as Earth prepared, the first signs of the Empire's return appeared. Strange disturbances rippled through the solar system. Pluto vanished entirely, presumably destroyed or moved by the Empire's unfathomable technology. Then silence. For 3 days, every telescope and sensor focused on deep space, straining for any sign of the incoming threat. The wait was unbearable. On the 4th day, it came. Not with a bang, but with a whisper. Dr. Chen burst into the UN emergency session, her face pale. "They're here," she announced, "but not where we expected." She pulled up a holographic display of the solar system. Tiny dots representing the Empire's ships were appearing, inside the sun. "Impossible," muttered one of the generals. "Nothing could survive those temperatures." "They're not surviving it," Dr. Chen explained. "They're harnessing it. They're draining our sun's energy to power their fleet." The implications were staggering. Not only was the Empire back with unimaginable technology, but they were also literally stealing the source of all life on Earth. As the leaders argued about what to do, a message broadcast across every device on the planet. The alien commander's face filled screens worldwide. "Humans," the alien sneered, its voice dripping with contempt. "Your previous victory was amusing, but playtime is over. Surrender now, or we will extinguish your star and end your pitiful existence." President Rodriguez stood to respond, but before he could speak, the sun flickered. For a terrifying moment, darkness fell across the Earth. Then the light returned, but noticeably dimmer. Panic erupted globally. Riots broke out in major cities. Doomsday cults gained millions of followers overnight. It seemed that humanity's brief moment of hope was about to be snuffed out. But in the chaos, an unlikely hero emerged. Zix, the alien rebel who had helped in the moon mission, approached Dr. Chen with a dangerous idea. "Your son," Zix explained, "it's not just a star. It's alive, in a way your science doesn't yet understand. If we can communicate with it, awaken it fully, it might fight back." Dr. Chen was skeptical, but desperate times called for desperate measures. She assembled a team of Earth's brightest minds, along with Zix and other alien rebels who had sought refuge on Earth. In a secret facility deep under the Antarctic ice, they worked tirelessly. They combined cutting-edge human technology with the mystical sciences of a dozen alien cultures. Their goal, to build a device that could talk to the sun. As they worked, the sun grew dimmer each day. Crops began to fail. Temperatures dropped worldwide. Humanity teetered on the brink of extinction. Finally, After sleepless nights and countless setbacks, they were ready. The device, a swirling mix of advanced tech and what looked like pure energy, hummed to life. Dr. Chen took a deep breath. "This is our last hope," she said, her hand hovering over the activation switch. "If this doesn't work..." She didn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone knew the stakes. With a silent prayer to whatever might be listening, she flipped the switch. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the ground began to shake. The sky lit up with auroras, even at the equator. And at the center of it all, the sun began to pulse with a new, vibrant energy. The battle for the very heart of the solar system had begun. And this time, humanity had awakened an ancient, powerful ally. The sun itself was joining the fight. The sun pulsed with an otherworldly light, its surface rippling like a disturbed pond. The Empire's ships, caught off guard by this unexpected development, scattered in disarray. For a brief moment, hope flared in the hearts of every human watching the spectacle unfold. But the Empire was not so easily defeated. Their massive mothership, a behemoth that dwarfed entire planets, emerged from behind the sun. Its surface bristled with weapons, each capable of destroying the continent. On Earth, in the underground command center, President Rodriguez turned to Dr. Chen. "What's happening up there?" he asked, his voice tense. Dr. Chen's eyes were fixed on her screens, trying to make sense of the data pouring in. "The sun, it's fighting back," she said in awe. "It's targeting the Empire's ships with solar flares, but the mothership is too strong. It's trying to establish direct control over our star." Captain Ruse, who had been overseeing Earth's fledgling space fleet, spoke up. "We can't just sit here and watch. We need to help." A plan was quickly formed. Earth would launch everything they had: their reverse-engineered spaceships, their lunar bases, even old satellites retrofitted with alien tech. It would be an all-or-nothing assault on the Empire's mothership. As Earth's forces mobilized, the battle above intensified. The sun lashed out with massive solar flares, incinerating smaller Empire ships. But the mothership stood firm, its advanced shields absorbing the stellar assault. Captain Ruiz led the charge, her voice crackling over the comms to the thousands of pilots under her command. "Remember your training. Work together, and we might just have a chance." The space around the sun became a chaotic battleground. Human ships darted between much larger alien vessels, using their small size and agility to their advantage. Explosions lit up the void, silent in the vacuum of space, but visible from Earth as tiny flashes of light. On the ground, people gathered in streets and on rooftops, watching the sky with bated breath. The fate of their world was being decided above their heads. In Antarctica, Dr. Chen and her team worked frantically to boost their sun communication device. "If we can amplify the sun's response," she muttered, her fingers flying over holographic controls, "we might be able to overload the mothership's systems." As the battle raged, an unexpected message came through. It was from the alien rebel, Zix, who had snuck aboard the mothership during the chaos. "I found their central control room," his voice crackled, weak from the mothership's jamming attempts. "But I need help to shut it down." Captain Ruse made a split-second decision. "I'm going in," she announced, steering her ship towards the looming bulk of the mothership. "Maria, no," Dr. Chen cried. "It's too dangerous." "It's our only chance," Ruse replied calmly. "Keep that sun angry, Doc. We'll need all the help we can get." With incredible skill, Ruse navigated through the mothership's defenses, using the ongoing battle as cover. Her ship, smoking from multiple hits, crash-landed in one of the mothership's hangars. Fighting broke out in the corridors of the alien vessel. Ruse and a small team of volunteers battled their way towards the control room, aided by Zix's inside knowledge. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Chen's team finally achieved a breakthrough. The sun's response amplified tenfold, its surface boiling with unprecedented activity. The mothership visibly shuddered under the onslaught. Inside the alien vessel, Ruse and her team finally reached the control room. They found Zix surrounded by the bodies of Empire soldiers, barely holding on. "The main console," he gasped, pointing to a pulsing orb of energy. "Destroy it, and the ship falls." As Ruse approached the orb, the ship's commander appeared, its alien features twisted in rage. "You primitive fools," it snarled. "You have no idea of the powers you're meddling with." A fierce battle ensued in the heart of the mothership. Ruse, drawing on every ounce of her training and determination, faced off against the alien commander. The fate of Earth hung in the balance as human and alien clashed, their struggle mirroring the cosmic battle raging outside. With a final, desperate lunge, Ruse broke through the commander's defense. Her weapon struck true, shattering the control orb. Energy exploded outward, engulfing everything in blinding light. Outside, the mothership began to break apart, its pieces drawn inexorably towards the sun. The remaining Empire ships, without central command, fell into disarray. As cheers erupted across Earth, Dr. Chen's voice cut through the celebration. "Wait," she said, her eyes wide. "Something's wrong with the sun. The energy levels, they're still rising." The victory had come at a cost. The sun, awakened and enraged, was now burning out of control. Earth had won the battle. But a new, even deadlier threat loomed. The very source of life in their solar system was turning against them. The celebrations on Earth were short-lived. As the last of the Empire's ships vanished into the sun's fiery embrace, a new terror gripped the planet. The sun, once humanity's life-giver, now threatened to become its executioner. Dr. Chen's voice, usually so calm, trembled as she addressed the Emergency Council. "The sun's core is destabilizing. At this rate, it will go supernova within 48 hours. We won't survive." A stunned silence fell over the room. They had defeated an alien empire only to face extinction from their own star. President Rodriguez was the first to speak. "Options, people. I need options." Scientists from around the world joined the discussion via hologram, each suggestion more desperate than the last. Use all of Earth's nuclear weapons to try and shock the sun back to normal. Evacuate as many humans as possible to underground bunkers. Try to move the entire planet. As the debate raged, a weak transmission cut through the chaos. It was Captain Ruse, somehow still alive aboard the remnants of the alien mothership. "I'm alive," her voice crackled, heavy with pain and static. "So is Zix. We're in some kind of protected core. There's technology here like nothing we've ever seen." Dr. Chen leaned towards the transmitter. "Maria, listen carefully. The sun is going to explode. We need a miracle. And we need it fast." There was a long pause. Then Zix's voice came through. "There might be a way. The Empire didn't just harvest stars. They could control them, even create them." Hope, fragile but present, began to grow. With Zix's guidance and Ruiz's hands, they might be able to use the mothership's remaining systems to stabilize the sun. But there was a catch. "The system is damaged," Zix explained. "It will take every ounce of power we have left. And it has to be done from here." The implications were clear. Whoever stayed to operate the machine wouldn't be coming back. Without hesitation, Ruiz spoke up. "I'll do it. Just tell me how." Protests erupted from Earth, but Ruiz cut them off. "We don't have time to argue. Besides, someone needs to make sure these alien bastards don't come back." As Ruiz and Zix worked frantically on the mothership, Earth mobilized for a last-ditch effort. Every spacecraft available was launched, filled with coolant and explosives. The plan was to support the mothership's efforts from the outside, trying to cool the sun's surface while Ruiz worked on its core. Dr. Chen coordinated the efforts from Earth, her eyes darting between dozens of holographic displays. The sun grew more unstable by the minute, huge solar flares lashing out into space. Time ticked away. The first wave of Earth's ships approached the sun, releasing their payloads. Tiny ice comets and explosions rippled across the sun's surface, looking insignificant against its vast fury. On the mothership, Ruiz and Zix had finally prepared the alien device. "It's now or never." Ruiz radioed back to Earth. "It's been an honor serving with all of you." Dr. Chen, tears in her eyes, replied, "The honor is ours, Captain. Your sacrifice will never be forgotten." Ruiz took a deep breath and activated the machine. Instantly, the remains of the mothership were engulfed in blinding light. Energy poured from the ship into the sun's core. On Earth, everyone held their breath. For a terrifying moment, nothing seemed to change. Then, slowly, the sun's erratic pulses began to stabilize. "It's working," Dr. Chen shouted, her voice hoarse with emotion. "The core temperature is dropping." As hours passed, the sun gradually returned to its normal state. The threat of supernova faded, replaced by the familiar life-giving light the humans had known for millennia. But the victory was bittersweet. The mothership, along with Ruiz and Zix, had vanished entirely, consumed by the very star they had saved. As dawn broke over a grateful Earth, President Rodriguez addressed the world. "Today, we remember the heroes who gave everything to save not just our world, but our entire solar system. Captain Maria Ruiz and our alien ally Zix exemplified the very best of sentient beings, regardless of their origin." He paused, looking up at the now calm sun. "We have faced extinction and emerged stronger. We have made allies among the stars and defeated those who would conquer us. Today marks a new era for humanity. We are no longer alone in the universe, and we have proven ourselves worthy of our place among the stars." As his words echoed around the globe, humans everywhere looked to the sky with new eyes. They had survived, against all odds. And now, a galaxy of possibilities awaited them. 5 years had passed since the sun nearly destroyed Earth. The planet had changed dramatically. Humanity, once divided by borders and ideologies, now stood united as a single global civilization. The threat from the stars had shown them that their differences were small compared to the vastness of the universe. Dr. Chen, now leading Earth's new space exploration and defense agency, stood before a massive window in the orbital station New Horizon. Below her, Earth gleamed like a blue jewel. "Status report," she called out to her team. A young scientist, Lisa Wong, stepped forward. "The Mars colony is thriving, Dr. Chen. We've successfully terraformed 20% of the surface. The Jupiter station reports that the first harvest of exotic gases was a success." Chen nodded, a small smile on her face. Humanity had taken its first steps into the solar system, driven by the need to spread out and ensure their survival. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the station. "What's happening?" Chen demanded, rushing to the main console. And technician's voice shook as he reported, "Massive energy signature detected at the edge of the solar system. It's bigger than anything we've ever seen." Fear gripped everyone in the room. Had the Galactic Empire returned? Were they about to face extinction once again? As they watched, a colossal ship emerged from what looked like a tear in space itself. But this vessel was different from the Empire's ships. It shimmered with a strange, almost organic quality. Before panic could set in, an unexpected message came through on all frequencies. "People of Earth, do not be afraid. We come in peace. We are the Guardians, and we have much to discuss." The voice was familiar, impossibly, incredibly familiar. "It can't be," Dr. Chen whispered. "Maria." Indeed, as the message continued, there was no doubt. It was Captain Maria Ruiz, the hero who had sacrificed herself to save the sun 5 years ago. Within hours, representatives from Earth met with the crew of the massive ship. Captain Ruiz, looking somehow both older and younger than when she'd left, stood beside beings of various alien races, including Zix. "I know you have questions," Ruiz began, her voice filled with emotion. "When Zix and I activated the sun-stabilizing device, we were transported across the galaxy. We found ourselves among the Guardians, an ancient alliance of races dedicated to protecting life throughout the universe. Zix stepped forward. The Galactic Empire you faced was just one of many threats out there. The Guardians have been fighting them for millennia, seeking to maintain balance and foster peace. The revelations came fast. The universe was far more complex and populated than humanity had ever imagined. There were wonders beyond comprehension, but also dangers that could wipe out entire galaxies. We've come back, Ruiz continued, because Earth is ready. Ready to join something greater than itself. The Guardians need Earth's unique spirit, its resilience, its creativity. And Earth needs the Guardians' protection and knowledge. President Rodriguez, who had traveled from Earth for this historic meeting, looked overwhelmed. You're saying you want Earth to join this Galactic Alliance? Ruiz nodded. It's more than that. We want Earth to become a key member. Your recent victory against the Empire proved that humanity has something special, something the universe needs. As discussions continued, Dr. Chen pulled Ruiz aside. Maria, she said, her voice cracking, we mourned you. We thought you were dead. Ruiz's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. I'm sorry for the pain I caused. But I'm here now, and I'm offering humanity a chance to be part of something incredible. Over the next few days, Earth's leaders debated the offer. It was a monumental decision. Joining the Guardians would catapult humanity into a role they had never imagined, bringing both great opportunities and great responsibilities. Finally, in a historic global broadcast, President Rodriguez announced Earth's decision. People of Earth, he began, his voice solemn but filled with hope. Today, we take our place among the stars. We have accepted the Guardians' offer. From this day forward, Earth stands not just for humanity, but for all life in the universe. As cheers erupted around the world, Dr. Chen looked out at the stars. The vast unknown that had once threatened them now beckoned with infinite possibilities. Ruiz joined her at the window. Ready for the next adventure? She asked with a smile. Chen nodded, her eyes shining with determination. Always. Let's show the universe what humanity can do. As the Guardian ship prepared to depart, with Earth's first ambassadors on board, a new chapter in human history began. The species that had once huddled in caves, gazing at the stars in wonder, was now reaching out to touch them, ready to make its mark on the cosmos.